go. Okay, here we go. Start back over. I'm going to start. So here's my carry-on suitcase. And I'm going to start with what I'm wearing on the plane because it won't go in the suitcase. So I'm wearing wool leggings. Those are very comfy. They will double as my pajamas on the trip. And then also, if we just have like strangely cold weather, I'll wear them under my hiking pants. So like multi-purpose. A camisole, I just personally don't like to have like a bra strap on a long flight. So just whatever you are comfortable with wearing. And then a wool t-shirt. So that's kind of my plain outfit. Normally, maybe I would add a cardigan to that, like a long, flowy, comfy cardigan. And then that's what I would, and then a pair of socks. And then that's what I would have as my like pajama-y outfit. But I have cut the cardigan this time, and I'm just going to go straight to using my like puffy, comfy jacket as my next layer on the plane. So if you wanted to add a cardigan or something else plus the jacket, but this is really warm. I find like it's also like soft, and it's a little bit like sometimes if I know I won't be needing to sleep on the plane, but if you are, I find like having something that's on like almost being inside of a sleeping bag on a plane. I get really cold overnight on a plane. So that's like what I'll wear on the plane. So all of that I'm setting to the side. That puffy jacket also like rolls up real small and gets into a little pouch. So later when I do need to put it in my bag, it'll squish down really small. And then I'll actually wear my hiking boots on the plane. So just so they're not taking up room. I feel like maybe I've said this in the email, but tons of people do. I would say most people do this portion of the Camino in a shorter trail runner tennis shoe. I just have like weak ankles, so I tend to always wear a boot. But even if you have a trail runner, like you want a little bit of tread on the bottom of it, because there's enough path or whatever that you'll want to have like at least a little tread, not just some tennis shoes are just real flat on the bottom. So if you have a shorter like tennis shoe type shoe, that's fine. Wear that on the plane. All that doesn't take up any room in my suitcase. Then I'm going to do clothes first. So we're going to do my hiking clothes. Well, we'll do undergarments first. So I'll take 3 pairs of wool underwear, and they are all one on my body and 2 more. And then I'll rinse those out, rinse one out, wire one, hang one to dry. Same with sports bras, like 2 black sports bras. Pull that, get in my suitcase. And then I have 2 base layers that I'll alternate. So it's a theme. I have like 2, like air one night and wear one the next day. This time I'm going to take, since it's March, I'm going to take one that's a tiny bit thicker and one that's just a little bit thinner. So I have a tiny bit of flexibility. They're both just wool base layers. I've got a little flexibility on what's the weather today. Maybe I want this little bit warmer one. This also, if you didn't want to just have a t-shirt on the plane, you could wear one of those on the plane as well if you needed to. I'm rolling those up. I like Smart Wool. Mine are icebreaker. I like Smart Wool. Costco even this year had long sleeved wool base layers. So just whatever. And if you like the kind of material that's like a techie kind of material as opposed to wool, that's fine too. I wouldn't wear cotton just because when it gets wet, then you're just wet. So a layer that like repels water some way. So then my other hiking clothes have like a slickety kind of tech. I think it's like actually a fishing shirt, and I will wear that over my base layer, and that's like just one more. It's really actually pretty thin, but it's one more like block against wind before I have to put on something thicker. And so on top of that, or so I might not wear that at all if it was a colder day. I might just go straight to the fleece. This is like my fleece layer. I am not positive that you would need both the fleece layer and a puffy jacket. I kind of feel like, if your walking temperature, if you tend to get cold or hot. So like I might leave this behind since I'm for sure going to bring the puppy, but I'll like check the temperatures right before I go and decide, do I want one more, fleecy layer, but something that can go between your base layer and your raincoat if it's like on the colder end, whether it's like a puppy jacket or a fleece, something like that. Then I'm going to take, I think I've put 2 pairs of hiking trousers on the list. I'm going to probably just take one this time. But if I do take 2, I have on a pair of hiking trousers right now that are tiny bit slickety, so maybe a little bit more rain repellent. And then I have some that are like, they're just techy kind of, So anyway, so I might take both that are a little bit different from each other, or I might just take these. And these, they're not zip offs, but they do, the bottoms roll up and snap so that I can turn them into like capris. And I'm not going to pack shorts this time, I don't think. I feel like if it's so warm that we need shorts, I will be happy to buy a pair. But I don't expect for it to be so warm that we'll be in shorts, but I could be wrong. Who knows? And then I do have like a little hat and gloves for March. What I feel like will happen is in the morning, I'll have all that on, this on, and we'll be, 10 minutes down the path and I'll start feeling off of it. I feel like sometimes the main reason I'm carrying my backpack is to put the things in that I take off when I get hot, so anyway, but I like to have them when you're cold. And then when you stop, you'll like pull it all out, put it back on. If we're sitting outside, if we're sitting inside, you might not need it. Okay, rest of clothes. So I have one more pair of socks. So I'll alternate my one pair of socks. And again, they're like wool hiking socks. And then masks, of course. I know they're saying now that like it's better to have especially on the airplane, the masks that, are disposable, that are, I can't think of the word, but what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Like the N95s.
The N95s, exactly. Yeah. So I would probably wear one of those on the plane, but I bring a couple of cloth ones just for having. When you often will just have it on for a second when you walk from the front door to your table, and then you take it off and sit down and order it. So anyway, a couple of masks. I take a buff, like either that I end up doubling for my hair, or also like from here to here, if I'm really cold, I can put that on and kind of dig my chin down into it. I feel like that's like multi-use. I take a bandana for the same reason. Just use it almost as a handkerchief. So those are kind of bandanas, obviously, kind of an optional. Then I would take a hat that's either a ball cap or something for sun. Again, if we get fortunate and have a lot of sun or rain. So I wear this hat a lot in hiking for rain, because when I get rain on my glasses, I can't see. Let's see what else on clothes. I also will take one other pair of shoes. So, and probably what I'll take, even though it's March, are my sandals, my like chacos, and I'll wear them with socks. So just kind of, I feel like after your feet are inside boots all day, you just like, you take those boots off and your feet go, and then when you walk to dinner, you don't want to like squeeze your foot inside of something, but you still need to be able to walk to dinner usually. So you don't want to have on like flip-flops. So something like that, some chacos, or an old, like a smaller pair of tennis shoes that are just super, super comfortable. You could bring those as well. Or you might, if you really love your tennis shoes, you might get by with just one pair of shoes. So I'll take those probably. And the last like clothing items I've got, I have one more t-shirt that's just like to alternate sleeping in like and it is like a comfy cotton t-shirt, and I can wear it with those leggings at night to sleep in. You can bring pajamas if you want it instead. That's just what I will probably sleep in. And then I have like a little dress that I actually this time bought in Santiago, so you could do that if you didn't want to pack something that I ended up buying in Santiago to wear like last night, but I wore it like over a long sleeved base layer and my leggings underneath it. So we won't really, I mean, you don't need to like dress up for dinner at night. You can still just wear your hiking clothes if you want. But some nights you just might feel like you want to wear something a little different. That's fine. If you want to, welcome to bring different things. But you can also just wear your leggings and your t-shirt and cardigan and jacket to dinner and sandals if you want. You know, it's not like a super, nothing's like formal, obviously. Even when we eat somewhere nicer, they know everybody's walking in Camino and, you know, that's fine. I have a knee brace and an ankle brace these days. If you like ever need, if you have a past injury and you're like sometimes need, then I would bring it for this trip, because after all those miles, something you might, you know, find that old knee injury or ankle injury or something like that. You can bring, if you have that or need something like that, or yeah, even back, or if you have a brace that you like, you use. Okay, and so that's all. That's it on clothes. Does anybody have any clothing questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it appropriate to hike in yoga pants?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I feel like that's become more and more a thing. Like, I see it a lot, people hiking in leggings. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's fine to do. It really is. I would want them to be not cotton, like a material that if they got wet, you wouldn't be miserable. Is all. But they make all kinds of, yeah, leggings and stuff that. And as long as you're comfortable with, I mean, this is just true with your whole kit. I'm sure y'all are doing this. You're hiking in your stuff that you have. So like where your backpack hits you on your legging, you know, just that's all comfortable. Then yeah, that's totally fine. In the summer, sometimes I ran into, you couldn't enter a church without your shoulders being covered, or if you had on really short shorts. But I don't expect us, like I'm not even taking a tank top or shorts on this in March. So those are the only two things that can be a little like, oh, you maybe technically shouldn't walk in and view this church if you're in a tiny tank top and shorts, but leggings are fine. Lots of people in leggings. So
Great.
any other clothing questions?
You didn't talk about any rain gear, did you?
Thank you. I did not. Yes, thank you so much. Definitely most important piece that you need your raincoat. I'm gonna bring just a raincoat and chance it on the pants, but you can also bring rain pants if you want. I hope that if it rains, that it will not be like a deluge, and that it'll be the kind of rain that you just like shake off and you put your leggings on and you hang your hiking pants up over the radiator in the hotel, you know, the hotel room, and then you're fine the next day. We could have more than that. So if you want to, if you want to bring like rain pants that fold up just like that, like in a pouch, put them on. Another thing sometimes people do is wear a really big poncho over, so it goes over their backpack, and it is so wide that you wouldn't need rain pants because it's kind of like creating like a little tent for the rest of you. So that's definitely an option as well. And you can do that.
That's what I was wondering, if you bring that.
Yeah, you can do that instead of a raincoat. Lots of people do that instead of a raincoat. I end up wearing my raincoat the most as just even a jacket. So like even you know, when I'm stopping, I'm pulling it out because it's blocking the wind. It's just a light jacket for multiple uses. And so I think because of that, I don't love having a poncho, because then I'm like putting this poncho on instead of like the jacket. I also like will hike in my rain jacket in the morning. When I first get hot, I'll unzip it and then take it off. You know, it's like I have levels with it. But definitely, in fact, I think one girl in September brought a raincoat and a poncho, but she brought the kind of poncho that's like that. She, you know, which you can
Well,
buy.
they're so small. I mean, ponchos can fold up super.
They fold up so tiny. So definitely, I feel like that's a great option. It's a great option. And you also need, if you have a poncho, then you can get by probably without a rain cover for your backpack. So my backpack has a rain cover built in, like down here in the bottom, like a little. So if it starts raining, just like pull it out and put it on. It's built in. A lot of them do. It's an Osprey. A lot of the Ospreys have that. But if you don't have that and you're not bringing a poncho, you might want a rain, just like a separate rain cover, which those are easy to order, inexpensive for your backpack. But also if you bring a poncho, then the kind that will fit over your backpack, then you're really covered. So you could probably do without that if you have that instead. Okay, so I'll talk about backpacks since I already have it out. Does everybody have their backpack? You're hiking with them and you're good. So you don't, this backpack is really bigger than you need. I bring it because I love it and it's so comfortable, and it has like a meshed space between your back and the actual pack. So like air can get in behind so that you're not like super sweaty, which is more of an issue in the summer, obviously. But this is, again, it's a bigger backpack than you really need. You can get by with something like this, or even smaller than this. You just mainly want to be able to fit your water bottle, your raincoat, and then like a layer you wanted to take off, and wallet. And you're not carrying that much during the day, so it can be small, but you want it to be comfortable. So that's a setback right there. Also, I am obviously, like when I get done, you'll see this you don't want to bring a completely full backpack and a completely full carry-on, because then you're going to have to carry everything all day that's in your backpack. So just think about that when you're packing. Ideally, to me, there's room for this backpack in here, and you don't even have to mess with it when you're traveling. Like, I feel like that's I just like to be hands-free, get on the airplane, you're already rolling this. But most likely you'll have your pack on and be rolling the carry-on. That's fine too. It's just preference. Okay, I'm gonna do toiletries really quick, which are like, sunglasses are optional. I'll probably bring some sunglasses. I'm bringing a bigger first aid kit with I feel like it's a pretty thorough first aid kit. You're welcome to bring first aid kit if you want that, since I'm gonna have one. You could just bring yourself a couple of Band-Aids and some blister treatment. That's what I have in here. For blisters, I love moleskin is what I use for blisters. Rave about hiker's wool is another, and then Comfeed is a great for blisters. And then I also last time ended up buying these little tiny KT tape things, and they look like they wouldn't do anything, but they were really great for that moment before you get a full blister. It's just starting to kind of bug you, and you put that on. It seemed like that was super preventative. So those are a few and I will have obviously that you can use. You don't end up having enough for moleskin and stuff. Then I have even more of that in the first aid kit. Then toiletries, obviously you just bring little small toiletries. I get these little tiny guys and refill them with my sunscreen, my moisturizer, little tiny toothpaste, little tiny hand sanitizer. And then I've also thrown in here a couple of Tide pods. They're not Tide, but some kind of laundry brand, so that if you want it, most of the places where we stay will have a laundry facility, and they'll do it for you for 5 to 10 euros. You can wash all your clothes. So, but then you also have to buy soap if you don't have it. So it's nice to just throw something like that in. These are all my liquids, and so they're going to eventually go in my little tiny toiletry bag. But for the airplane, I put them right here so that when you go through security, you can pull them out really easily. But then after I go through security, I'll put them in this little tiny bag with all my other things. So those are my like moleskin and things like that. I have a set of earplugs in case your roommate snores, and a tiny sewing kit, a nail file, hair bands, toothbrush, have a bar of soap. Well, they'll have all of the places we stay. We'll have like soap and shampoo. They're always like body wash and shampoo usually. And I like a bar of soap to wash out my clothes. Like I really like wash out the armpits of my t-shirt or whatever. So, and my body. So a bar of soap. And then I take all my medicine in these teeny tiny little Ziploc bags. So I'm not taking like lots of some of my vitamins. And then I have Advil and Tylenol and more than I usually take, because sometimes after I've been hiking all day, I really like a lot of Advil. Anyway, I don't want to take a bunch of bottles, so I just throw things like that in there. That's everything toiletries wise. Everywhere we'll have a hair dryer, anything else like that. And hair dryers generally don't do great on converters anyway, so I would leave that behind. Anything like that, like a flat iron, anything like that, for some reason, when you put it in the converter, it usually burns out because it's not made to go all the way up to 220. And as far as converters, I have a couple of, this is the one I usually use everywhere. And it's like, you could use it in the airport, like in Seattle, and plug it in because it has an American plug. And then it also has the European one too. But if you want to carry something smaller, you only need the European. So this is probably what I'll bring. And here is like my phone charger cord, headphones. I bring headphones that have a cord for the airplane because of, you know, to plug in a bunch of movies. Like I have like cordless headphones, but that makes sense. Don't understand. And then this is the actual European. So it's just that 2-prong. So you can get a little tiny thing like that if you don't want to carry the whole a big block with all, but these blocks are available, you know, anywhere. So that's electronic. I will carry a portable charger as well. I don't feel like you really need that if you are keeping your phone on airplane mode all day. It won't die before you charge it. So but I'll have my phone on. So I think, yeah, everywhere we'll have Wi-Fi, so you can, even like where we stop for a coffee, we'll have Wi-Fi. So I think you can get by, but if you're really uncomfortable with not having, you know, you can call and check, not having a phone on all the time, you can call and check your phone's international plan. If your phone is unlocked, you can buy a SIM card. You can order it ahead of time for like probably like $12 to $18 that you can put in and have that for the whole time you're in Europe. So that could end up being cheaper than trying to use your international phone. But if you have the kind of phone that's like locked to a phone company, then you're not able to do that. So those are some options. Phones. I'm almost to the end here.
I have a question about the places we're staying. Are they communal bathrooms or are they private bathrooms?
No, almost every, I think that everywhere, I'll go back and check. I meant to like actually look at everywhere we're staying. Like the last time, I think we stayed in 2 places where 2 bedrooms shared a bathroom. So it's not communal bathroom, you know, but there was like, everyone's wanted to share with another room. But I think for all of us, everywhere we're staying, the bathrooms are en suite, which is what they call having the bathroom in your room. So I'll check on that. Our first night in Saria, I think I rented like an apartment that we could just eat in. I also have found that to be like when you still have jet lag, it's nice if there's like a living room you can get up and go sit in. If it's driving you crazy, you don't want to turn the light on for your roommate or whatever. So in that, we'll be sharing probably a bathroom in that setting, but it'll just be us sharing it.
Yeah.
And
I was just more thinking like if I had to walk a far distance to the bathroom,
no.
bringing stuff to carry with, you know.
No. Definitely not. Definitely not. We'll not walk a far distance to the bathroom. I don't think. No. Okay, last few little things. Of course, you need your passport, and you want to put your passport in something, and you'll want this in your backpack. So I use this thing, it's got my passport and your vaccination card, which right now, that's all we need to get into Spain. You don't have to test right now to get into Spain. And I, like, when I'm traveling, like, if you were going to Madrid, which most of us aren't, you know, you can get these and they go like all the way under your clothes and stuff. But you don't need to like buy one of these for the trip. You don't have one. You can use, you know, anything. Like you could use, a lot of people I've noticed carry like bum bags that they carry right them on their front, carry right here, like carry their backpack and then keep their money and stuff like right here. So you could do something like that. But I'll just probably take this and bury it in my backpack. And then I will take a little tiny something like this with my like one credit card. And you tend to, if you're spending euros, get a lot of coins back. So I also have a few euros, but like if you have euros at home, obviously, you can bring those with you. So I like having a little change first. And then I'll put that in like my very front pocket on my backpack. Obviously, a water bottle. You can bring a water bottle like this. Last time I switched, I may have told y'all this. I switched to 2. It's like the same amount of water, but like it balances on my backpack to have one water on one side, one on the other. And I don't always fill them both up, but I also use one for electrolytes. And you know how electrolytes like makes your water bottle taste funny. So I just keep one for water, one for electrolytes. So that's something I could bring is these 2 water bottles. And like these are Moon tablets, but any kind of little electrolyte. This is not a necessary. These are optional, like water bottles, not optional, but I do find this just a little boost to have like a little extra. And there's like 10 in these, so that should be 1 a day for the whole time. Be fine.
Is there a reason why not to bring a Camelback?
Well, no, there's not. Here's the reason I wouldn't bring it. You absolutely can, and if you like to be drinking all day, I do recommend a Camelback, especially if you've already got the thing worked. You know, it works in your backpack. But there is water constantly, so you don't need to fill up you don't need to carry 2 to 3 liters. Like my Camelback's 3 liters. Like that's just heavy on my back. Like, and you never need to carry that much because you're constantly passing water on this trail. And then because you're constantly passing water on this trail, it is way easier to like, you know, just like, you know, all the water fountains than to like, again, it might not be, if you're super used to it and you love the Camelback, I would bring that. But mine, it like weaves in. And if my backpack's really full, I've got to unload my backpack before I can get the Camelback out. And so I love a Camelback for like backpacking when you know you're not going to see water, and when you need to be drinking water, and when you're filtering your own water. Like all those are really.
And all the water is safe to.
All the water is safe to drink. Yeah, all the water is safe to drink. Yeah.
Yeah, I just like a Camelback because it's easier for me to drink, and it reminds because it's so easy. I will drink, and I tend to forget to drink when I have a water bottle.
So. I feel like my mom is the same way, and I've told her to use a Camelback when she came for that reason. And you don't have to stop to drink water.
Yeah.
You have a Camelback. So yeah, if you prefer it, definitely I would.
I mean, I might just also bring a little water bottle just to easily refill.
Yeah, and you absolutely.
Okay.
Sometimes like when we're stopping, I'll be able to say there's water again in 2 miles. And so sometimes I'll like fill my water bottle and drink half of it and only carry like this much water because I know I'm hydrated right now. And I don't, you know, you kind of will like get a feel for.
Yeah.
But empty, the Camelback doesn't weigh anything. So even if you end up not using it,
yeah,
you know you like it. Yeah, I would say bring it.
Okay.
I will bring a couple of energy bars just for like, there's this day that I got hungry at a time other people weren't, you know, didn't want to stop, but in general, there's so many stops. There's so many cafes and fruit stands, and there's food all the time. So I will carry these all day and never use them, but I do just like, in fact, last time I think I ended up eating them on a plane. But I do just like in my head, like have a little, but then I do that and then like a peanut butter pouch, you know, just as like I'm weak and I just got to eat something. So I'll have like you can also buy things like that on over there. So if you get your suitcase so full and you have room for that, just take a few little tea bags. There's usually a place to make a cup of tea in our hotel room. A lot of them still already have tea bags. So again, these are like some little optional extras that if you do not bring them, that'll be fine. They will have them there. I usually take a journal and a pen. Everything else I use from my phone. Like, so I'll read a book on my phone, have my Bible on my phone, but anything like that you want, you can bring physically with you if you want. I also like to have something at the end of the, like when I'm walking around and I don't want to have my backpack, that I can have to put things. Sometimes you're fine with just your like jacket and your phone, you don't need anything. But I take, this is like a shopping bag, like one of those roll-up shopping bags that I take, and I'll undo that and throw, I don't know, my jacket in there. I just like to, again, that's an optional thing. Or if I'm gonna go buy some fruit for everybody or something, I end up usually throwing something like that. This is another version of that. It's like a little tiny backpack that folds up this small that you can, you know, so that you can use at night. You could also just carry, if you've got your passport in something like this, you can carry, you can use that or thumb back, you know, or nothing. You can just use your pockets if you want. Those are just some extra little things. And the last thing is a test, which I'm really hoping that y'all don't end up having to bring. I'm checking every day that airlines that are hard lobbying for the United States to get rid of the re-entry testing requirement. And I just feel like it also just lifts everyone's anxiety to know that no matter what, you can still come back. What I will say about these like antigen tests is, I think you have to be pretty sick to test positive with them, or maybe they've gotten better, but they're usually negative. In fact, we had a nurse with us last time, and when I told her the kind of test we had to do, she was like, "Oh, well, that will all be fine because they'll all just, you know, test negative." So the airline recommends that you have 2 of these, so that if you test positive on one, you try, you know, and do the other one, or yeah, but you have to have, right now for the United States, you have to have a verified test. And so you can buy these ahead of time they're verified with an online. Like you get online and take the test with a proctor online. Any of you traveled out of the country yet during COVID? You have to do this. Yeah, it sounds like it was the last time I went, it was the thing I was the most anxious about, but it really ended up being not a big deal. The 2 places I know of to get these there's 2 places online, and like American Airlines sends you all this information before you fly. There's one place where you can buy, I think it's like $50 or $60 for 2, so you can each individually do that to go on and get your 2 tests. That company makes you make your appointment ahead of time, like before you leave the country, and that's fine to do. But if you're doing that, I would make that appointment for pretty late the evening before you fly, just to make sure we're like back at the hotel. They'll still let you come on. We had this issue last time. They'll still let you come on and have your appointment if you're late, because we were like coming back from a restaurant trying to make somebody's appointment, and they were very flexible. But the other tests, you don't have to have an appointment. They always have proctors online 24/7, and you just get on and do it when you're ready to do it the night before you fly. In that group, I can't remember all their options, but the main thing I remember is that for $150, you can get 6 of them. And I actually feel like for the 4 of y'all, 6 is going to be plenty. Like having 2 extras between the 4 of you is going to be plenty. So if y'all wanted to, the main issue would be that somebody's got to carry 6 of them over. So if you guys wanted to like coordinate ordering a package of 6, and like then you can like Venmo each other, split it, then, and they look just like this, and then, or you can, however you want to do it. Does that make sense? Okay, last thing is the backpack, which as you can see is still empty since I didn't put anything else in it. And I think I can squeeze it in and zip my, then I think I even have room still like in all these pockets. Room to spare, y'all. And all my things. And we're packed. It. I'm gonna pause this recording and then I'll answer like any more questions.